The desert sun blazed relentlessly. The SEALs crouched low behind jagged rocks, rifles, ready eyes scanning every ridge, every shadow, every pebble. The female sniper adjusted her scope with calm precision. Each movement deliberate controlled the team. Tense nerves, taut anticipation. Thick as the heat waves shimmered across the sand. The commander signaling silently, knowing that the next moments would test skill, nerve, and composure to the extreme. The desert alive with hidden dangers waiting patiently. For a single misstep, she shifted slightly, scanning the horizon, calculating distance, slope, wind drift, and timing her finger steady on the trigger. The SEALs followed cautiously, inch by inch, each step, deliberate, each movement a silent gamble with death. The desert, shimmering every grain of sand, potentially concealing mines, enemy operatives, or ambush points. The commander exhaled, slowly, aware that survival depended entirely on her calculations, instincts, and nerve. Suddenly, movement in the distance caught her attention. A pair of enemy operatives advancing stealthily across open terrain. She adjusted her scope instantly, calculating trajectory, timing, wind, and slope. The first shot rang out, echoing across the canyon, hitting the target perfectly. The SEALs froze in shock, awe, and disbelief, mingling with adrenaline. The desert momentarily silent, as if holding its breath. She exhaled calmly, already scanning for the next threat. The team inching forward, trusting her instincts completely. The second target appeared briefly behind a low ridge. She calculated wind distance, slope, and trajectory, firing instinctively. The shot struck perfectly. The SEALs stiffened, every heartbeat, a countdown, every breath measured as they watched her orchestrate. Control over chaos, shadows, shifting unpredictably, every rock ridge and dune potentially hiding danger. The commander signaling for cautious forward movement. Knowing one miscalculation could be fatal, step by step, she led them forward, scanning constantly. For movement, the third and fourth targets appeared fleetingly across ridges and dunes. She adjusted instantly, firing flawless, precise shots. The SEALs crouched silently, tense, every motion orchestrated by her unseen mastery, the desert alive with tension, every ripple of sand, every shifting shadow, a potential hazard, each second stretching endlessly as they advanced under her guidance, inch by inch. A fifth target appeared behind a rocky outcrop, her eyes narrowing, adjusting calculations in. An instant, the shot fired perfect. The SEALs froze in awe. Every movement deliberate, every shot a lifeline, the desert alive around them, shadows shifting unpredictably every moment. A potential catastrophe, every heartbeat, a reminder that survival depended entirely on her mastery, nerve, and timing. The commander feeling awe and fear mingling, knowing their lives rested on her decisions. Suddenly, a faint rustle on a distant ridge revealed multiple enemy operatives converging rapidly. She scanned the terrain, calculating trajectories, timing wind, distance, slope, instinctively firing precise, deadly shots. The SEALs stiffened, their hearts pounding as the desert itself seemed to obey her silent command. Every heartbeat, a countdown, every breath, measured every shadow, potentially hiding danger. She continued to guide them forward, each step a calculated risk with death, hovering unseen. The sixth and seventh targets moved quickly between dunes and rocky ridges. She adjusted instantly, firing. With deadly accuracy, each shot landing perfectly. The SEALs stiffened, anticipation surging, disbelief, awe mingling, the desert alive with tension, every grain of sand, every shadow, a hidden threat, every movement, a test of skill, nerve, and courage, each second stretching as they advanced under her control. The eighth target appeared behind a boulder. She fired without hesitation. Flawless, the SEALs held positions tense, watching as her mastery orchestrated survival, the desert shimmering around them. Every ripple of sand hiding potential disaster, every heartbeat, a reminder that one wrong move could be fatal. her calm, precise calculations guiding them inch by inch, step by step, the commander realizing fully that her skill had saved lives and would continue to do so. Ninth and 10th targets appeared fleetingly. She adjusted instinctively, firing perfect shots. The SEALs leaning forward, eyes wide, disbelief replaced by total respect. Each shot proving her skill, nerve, and composure. The desert, alive with danger, every shadow shifting unpredictably, every ridge potentially hiding unseen threats waiting for the slightest misstep to strike. The 11th target appeared briefly. She fired instantly, hitting perfectly, the SEALs froze in awe and admiration, mingling adrenaline pumping every heartbeat, a reminder of mortality, the desert alive around them, each ripple in the sand, each shadow holding deadly secrets, every movement calculated and precise under her guidance. Inch by inch, the commander, noting her complete control, calm nerve, and deadly accuracy, understanding that survival depended entirely on her decisions. Finally, the 12th target moved swiftly across a ridge. She calculated trajectory, wind slope timing, firing the shot perfect, echoing across the canyon. The SEALs leaning forward stunned their awe, complete. The desert settled momentarily around them, shadows stretching long over sand. Each ripple a memory of impossible precision and nerve they had witnessed her orchestrate. Chaos with flawless skill. But the desert was not done with them yet. A sudden hiss beneath the sand made them freeze. A mine partially buried had shifted from the last patrol. The SEALs held their breath as she scanned quickly, calculating the safest route, a path through the danger invisible to most. She gestured subtly, and the team followed inch by inch, trusting entirely her guidance. Each step deliberate, each motion controlled, the desert holding its breath, testing patience, skill, and nerve. Sudden cloud of dust on a distant ridge signaled the approach of a larger enemy unit moving with lethal intent. She signaled the SEALs into position, adjusting angles for cover fire and sniper shots. The desert alive with tension, every shadow hiding. Threats, every ripple in the sand a hidden hazard, each second a test of nerve and timing. Her calm mastery guiding them through the chaos, inch by inch, step by step toward survival. The commander exhaled slowly, admiration and disbelief mixing with fear, knowing that their lives depended entirely on her instinct, calculations, and courage. Every heartbeat a reminder of the thin line between life and death. Every breath measured, as they advanced cautiously, the desert shimmering around them, holding. Secrets waiting to strike. The slightest misstep would be fatal, and yet they followed her, completely trusting her to lead them through the deadly terrain. And as the sun began to dip, lower shadows stretching across the desert, the SEALs continued to follow her guidance inch by inch. Every footfall deliberate, every motion controlled, the desert alive with danger and anticipation. Each man understanding fully that the woman before them was not only a sniper, but a master of survival, fearless, precise, deadly, and the desert held its secrets, waiting silently to challenge them once more as her legend grew with each heartbeat and every impossible shot. The desert stretched endlessly. The SEALs crouched low behind jagged rocks, rifles ready. Eyes scanning every ridge, every shadow, every pebble, the female sniper moved fluidly. Her movements precise, controlled, the team tense, adrenaline pumping. Each man aware that the final challenge had arrived, the commander signaling silently, knowing that survival now depended on nerve, skill, and absolute focus, the desert alive with hidden dangers, waiting patiently to strike at the slightest misstep. She shifted slightly, scanning the horizon, calculating distance, slope, wind, drift, timing, every variable, her finger steady on the trigger. The SEALs followed cautiously, inch by inch, each step, deliberate, each movement, a silent gamble with death, the desert shimmering every grain of sand, potentially concealing mines, enemy snipers, or sudden ambush points. Her eyes narrowed, detecting subtle movements invisible to the untrained eye. The commander exhaled slowly, aware that one wrong move could cost them everything. A sudden flash of movement revealed multiple enemy operatives converging. Rapidly across open terrain, she adjusted instantly, calculating angles, trajectory, wind slope timing, firing precise, deadly shots. The SEALs froze, their hearts hammering as the desert seemed to obey her silent command, every heartbeat a countdown. Every breath measured every shadow, potentially hiding danger. She guided them through the chaos, step by step, inch by inch, every movement controlled, flawless, and lethal. The first enemy operative fell instantly. The second hit, a heartbeat later, the SEALs fired under her direction with deadly accuracy. Each shot calculated, each dodge precise, the desert alive with tension. Every grain of sand, every ripple of heat, a potential hazard. Every shadow hiding unseen threats, each second a test of nerve, skill, and composure. The commander signaling forward inch by inch, trusting her instincts completely, knowing survival depended entirely on her decisions. Step by step, she led them forward, scanning constantly the terrain for hidden threats. The third, fourth, and fifth enemies moving unpredictably behind ridges and dunes, she adjusted instantly, firing perfect shots. The SEALs crouched silently tense, every motion orchestrated by her unseen mastery. The desert alive with danger, every ripple in the sand, every shifting shadow a potential catastrophe, each second stretching endlessly as they advanced under her control. The sixth target appeared behind a boulder. She fired without hesitation. Flawless, the SEALs held positions tense, watching as her mastery orchestrated survival. The desert shimmering around them, every ripple of sand concealing potential disaster, every heartbeat a reminder that one wrong move could be fatal. Her calm, precise cal. The sun had barely risen over the horizon, and the desert glimmered with heat waves. The SEALs crouched low behind jagged rocks, their rifles' ready eyes scanning every ridge and shadow. The female sniper adjusted her scope with calm precision. Each movement deliberate, controlled the team, still recovering from the record shots earlier. Their earlier mockery replaced by tense admiration and silent anticipation as the next mission awaited them beyond the horizon. She signaled for the team to move forward inch by inch, the sand shifting under their boots, each step. Deliberate, measured, calculated, the commander following closely. His pulse racing, each breath a reminder that one wrong move could cost them everything, the desert alive with hidden dangers, every grain of sand, every shadow potentially concealing enemy operatives or deadly traps. Her eyes scanned, constantly tracking the smallest movements and shifts across the terrain. A faint glimmer in the distance caught her attention. A pair of figures moving slowly across a ridge. She adjusted for wind slope distance and timing her finger steady on the trigger. The first shot rang true, echoing across the canyon. The SEALs flinched in shock awe, mixing with adrenaline as the target collapsed, the desert momentarily silent, as if holding its breath. She exhaled slowly, her eyes already scanning for the next threat. The team inching forward, trusting her instincts implicitly. The second and third targets appeared briefly behind rocks and low dunes, her calculations instantaneous, firing each shot perfectly. The SEALs crouched, low, tense, unable to speak their admiration, growing with each flawless strike, the desert alive around them, every grain of sand, every shadow a potential hazard, every movement a test of skill and nerve. The commander signaling for cautious advancement. Knowing survival depended entirely on her precision and focus, step by step, she guided them forward, scanning the horizon with unwavering focus. Fourth and fifth targets moved unpredictably between ridges and dunes. She adjusted her aim, calculating trajectory, wind distance, timing, instinctively firing each shot deadly precise, the SEALs holding positions, watching her control the battlefield. Silently, each motion a lifeline, each instruction, life-saving, the desert shimmering with heat, holding its secrets, waiting to test them further. The sixth target appeared briefly in a rocky outcrop, her eyes narrowing, adjusting calculations instantly. The shot fired true and deadly, accurate. The SEALs froze in disbelief, admiration mingling with fear, the desert around them alive with tension. Every ripple in the sand, every shifting shadow, a potential catastrophe, each second stretching endlessly. As they watched her orchestrate survival inch by inch with flawless skill and nerve, the commander feeling awe and anxiety mingled in his chest. Suddenly, movement in the distance hinted at another operative moving stealthily across open terrain. She tracked each step, adjusting for wind slope distance and timing, firing instinctively, the shot hitting perfectly. The SEALs flinched as if the desert itself obeyed her silent command. Each heartbeat a countdown. Every breath measured the desert. Alive with anticipation, the next challenge approaching before them as shadows shifted unpredictably across the dunes. The 7th and 8th targets appeared in rapid succession, fleeting across rocky ridges, her eyes calculating every trajectory. Every angle, every movement instantaneously, each shot landing perfectly. The SEALs crouched silently, their nerves taut, their admiration growing as the desert echoed with gunfire, every shadow hiding potential danger, every ripple in the sand a reminder that one miscalculation could be fatal. The commander watching, realizing fully that her skill had saved lives and would continue to do so. She shifted slightly, scanning the terrain for signs of hidden threats. The 9th target appeared briefly behind, a boulder, her hand steady, her breathing controlled. She fired with flawless precision. The SEALs stiffened, anticipation surging, adrenaline pumping, disbelief, awe mingling together, the desert alive around them, every grain of sand, every shadow concealing danger. Every movement, a test of skill and courage, every heartbeat, a countdown toward survival. The 10th and 11th targets moved across open terrain, exposing themselves briefly to her deadly accuracy. She adjusted instantly, firing perfectly, each shot. Hitting precisely, the SEALs leaned forward, their eyes wide, disbelief replaced mocking completely with respect, their pulse racing as they watched her orchestrate chaos with calm, flawless control, the desert alive with tension, every shadow shifting unpredictably, every ridge holding hidden dangers ready to test them further. Finally, the 12th target moved swiftly across a ridge. She calculated trajectory, distance, wind slope, timing, firing instantly. The shot rang true, echoing across the canyon. The SEALs frozen in awe, their admiration complete. The desert settled momentarily around them, shadows stretching long over the sand. Each ripple a memory of the impossible precision and nerve they had witnessed, the commander realizing fully that they had survived impossible odds because of her skill, courage, and instinct. Step by step, she guided the team forward beyond the ridges, scanning constantly for threats. Each footfall calculated, each breath controlled, the SEALs following, cautiously trusting her leadership implicitly. The desert alive around them, every shadow, every grain of sand a potential danger. Yet each move orchestrated under her mastery, inch by inch, step by step toward the unseen challenge ahead, her nerve and skill. The only thing holding the team together under pressure as the sun climbed higher. The desert shimmering heat waves bending light, the SEALs moved with her every eye, alert every muscle, tense every heartbeat, a countdown, the commander watching. Realizing that they had underestimated not only her skill, but her nerve composure and leadership. She had proven herself not only a sniper, but a master strategist, a guide through chaos, every decision flawless, every shot deadly and precise, waiting silently for the next threat that would test them to their limits. And as the shadows shifted across the desert and sweat stung their eyes, the team continued forward under her guidance, inch by inch, every footfall deliberate, every movement controlled. The desert alive with danger and anticipation, the SEALs finally understanding fully that the woman before them was more than a sniper. She was a master of her craft, fearless, precise, and deadly, and the desert held its secrets, waiting silently to challenge them once more as her legend grew with each heartbeat and every impossible shot. The desert sun blazed high, the SEALs crouched low behind jagged rocks, Rifles raised their eyes, scanning every ridge, every shadow, every pebble. The female. Sniper moved fluidly, adjusting her scope. Each movement precise controlled the team tense, still recovering from their earlier disbelief, the commander signaling silently, knowing that the next challenge would test nerves, skill, and composure like never before. The desert alive with hidden dangers, waiting patiently for a single misstep. She shifted slightly, scanning the horizon, calculating distances, slopes, wind drift, and timing her finger steady on the trigger. The SEALs followed cautiously. Inch by inch, each step deliberate measured the sand, shifting under their boots. Every movement a gamble with death, the desert shimmering with heat waves, every grain of sand, potentially hiding enemy observers, mines, or deadly traps. The commander exhaled slowly, aware that survival depended entirely on her calculations and nerve. A faint glimmer on a distant ridge caught her eye. Two figures moving slowly across the terrain. She adjusted her scope, aligning for wind slope and distance. The first shot rang out, echoing across the canyon, hitting the target perfectly. The SEALs froze in shock, awe, and disbelief, mingling with adrenaline. The desert momentarily silent, as if holding its breath. She exhaled calmly, scanning for the next threat, the team inching forward, trusting her instincts implicitly. The second target appeared behind a low boulder. She calculated trajectory, timing, slope, wind, and distance, instinctively firing the shot deadly accurate. The SEALs stiffened each heartbeat, a countdown, every breath measured, as they watched her orchestrate control over chaos, shadows shifting unpredictably, every rock and ridge a potential danger, every grain of sand a hidden threat. The commander signaling cautiously forward, knowing one miscalculation could be fatal, step by step. She led them forward, scanning constantly for movement. The third and fourth targets moved fleetingly across ridges and dunes. She adjusted instantly, firing perfect shots. The SEALs crouched, silently tense. Each motion orchestrated by her unseen mastery, the desert alive with tension. Every ripple in the sand, every shift of heat, waves a test of observation skill and nerve. Each second stretching endlessly as they advanced inch by inch under her control. Fifth target appeared behind a rocky outcrop, her eyes narrowing. Adjusting calculations instantaneously, the shot fired flawless. The SEALs froze in awe. Every movement precise, every shot a lifeline, the desert alive around them, shadows shifting unpredictably, every moment a potential catastrophe, every heartbeat, a reminder that survival depended entirely on her mastery of timing and nerve. The commander feeling awe and fear mingling in his chest, knowing their lives rested on her decisions. Suddenly movement. In the distance, revealed another enemy operative moving stealthily across open terrain. She calculated trajectory, wind slope distance, and timing. Firing instinctively, the shot striking perfectly. The SEALs flinched as if the desert itself obeyed. Her silent command, every heartbeat, a countdown, every breath, measured every shadow. Potentially hiding danger, she continued guiding them forward, each step a calculated gamble with death. The sixth A. The desert stretched endlessly, the sun blazing high in the sky, heat waves rising from the sand. The SEALs crouched low behind jagged rocks, rifles ready, eyes scanning every ridge, every shadow, every crevice. The female sniper moved silently, her movements precise, measured, her gaze sharp and calculating the team. Snickered, exchanging glances, doubting her ability. The commander shook his head, skeptical yet curious, every man waiting for her to prove herself or falter. She adjusted her scope carefully, lining up the first target, a distant figure moving slowly along a ridge, her fingers steady on the trigger. Her breathing calm controlled the men behind her, whispered among themselves, mocking under their breath, unaware that each second of delay could cost them if the enemy shifted position. She exhaled slowly, focusing fully, the desert alive with subtle movements waiting for her to act. The SEALs unsure, watching her prepare to fire. The first shot rang out, echoing across the canyon, hitting the target perfectly. The men froze in shock, jaws dropping, eyes wide, the desert momentarily silent as if holding its breath. The female sniper did not flinch, her finger ready on the trigger, scanning the horizon for the next target. The SEALs glanced at each other, disbelief mingling with growing respect. They had underestimated her skill and precision, and the next target moved subtly across their view. She shifted slightly, adjusting wind drift distance and trajectory. The second target fell almost as perfectly as the first, each shot deliberate, each movement calculated, the desert alive around them, every grain of sand, every ripple of heat holding secrets of motion and danger. The SEALs crouched silently behind cover, watching as she picked off targets one by one, her focus unbroken. The commander's pulse raced, realization dawning on him that the mocking laughter was gone, replaced by awe. A third target appeared briefly behind a rock formation. She calculated the angle, time, distance, and wind in a heartbeat. The shot rang out flawless. The SEALs flinched as if the desert itself was bending to her will, each target falling in rapid succession, 12 in total, each more difficult than the last, shadows moving unpredictably distances, stretching impossibly. Yet she remained calm, controlled, calculating every movement, the men holding their breaths, unable to tear their eyes from her actions. The fourth and fifth targets moved across a ridge, seemingly hidden by rocks and heat waves. Yet she adjusted instinctively, her rifle moving with her, as if part of her body, each shot precise, deadly accurate. The SEALs watching, unable to speak, the desert holding its breath. Every movement measured, every calculation perfect, every shot proving what they had doubted impossible. They leaned forward slightly, eager, yet terrified to see what she would do next. 6 targets down, she did not pause, her eyes scanning the horizon, adjusting calculations. Instantly, the 7th target appeared fleetingly, across a distance impossible for many. Yet she tracked each movement, following the trajectory instinctively, her focus unbroken, the SEALs tense, each man realizing they had underestimated not only her skill, but her nerve and composure. The desert, alive with tension, every shadow hiding movement, every grain of sand concealing potential failure. The 8th target appeared momentarily behind a boulder, her hands steady on the rifle scope, adjusting for wind slope distance. The shot rang true without hesitation. The SEALs frozen in awe, her calmness infectious yet terrifying. Each shot proving she was in complete control. The desert shimmering, heat waves bending, light masking potential targets. Every movement deliberate, calculated, lethal. The commander, unable to believe what he was witnessing. 12 targets in total, waiting ahead, shadows shifting unpredictably. She moved, fluidly scanning constantly the 9th and 10th targets briefly appearing behind ridges, her calculations precise, flawless, the shots ringing out, echoing through the canyon. The SEALs crouched tense, unable to speak, each strike precise, every breath measured, each heartbeat racing with adrenaline, the desert alive with the echoes of gunfire, every shadow potentially hiding. The next challenge, every ripple in the sand, a test of skill, nerve, and calculation. The 11th target appeared fleetingly across a rocky outcrop, her eyes narrowing, focusing, calculating distance, wind drift, slope, timing. She fired flawless precision. The SEALs stiffened, adrenaline pumping, disbelief mingling with respect. They had mocked her skill and courage moments ago. Yet now they saw the reality of experience, talent, and nerve, the desert holding its secrets, each movement deliberate, every shot a testament to impossible skill and control. Finally, the 12th target moved swiftly across a ridge. She adjusted instantly, calculating the perfect shot. Her finger steady on the trigger, she exhaled calmly, squeezing the trigger. The final target fell silently, the SEALs leaning forward, watching, stunned, their mocking laughter long gone, replaced by awe, disbelief, and respect. The desert seemed to settle around them, holding echoes of gunfire, each shadow alive with the story of her impossible skill and nerve. The commander stepped forward, his pulse, racing admiration, awe, disbelief mingling in his chest. The team watching silently, realizing they had underestimated not only her ability, but her courage, precision, and instinct she had proven. Herself, flawless, controlled, deadly precise 12 targets in record time, every shot calculated, every movement, instinctive, every decision flawless, and the desert held its breath waiting to see what she would do next. And as the sun dipped lower, shadows stretching across the desert, the SEALs finally exhaled slowly, the mocking replaced entirely by respect, their minds replaying every shot, every movement, every calculation, and they understood fully that the woman before them was more than a sniper. She was a master of her craft, fearless, precise, and lethal, waiting silently for whatever came next. The desert alive around them, and her legend had only just begun. The desert sun burned relentlessly. The SEALs crouched low behind jagged rocks, their rifles ready, their eyes scanning every ridge, every shadow, every movement, the female sniper adjusting her scope with calm precision, each movement deliberate, controlled the men still stunned by her earlier display of skill whispers, and exchanged glances replaced by silent awe and nervous anticipation as the next challenge loomed unseen across the desert horizon. She shifted slightly, her hands steady on the rifle, calculating wind drift distance slope and timing the SEALs following. Cautiously, inch by inch, every step, deliberate every movement. A silent dance with danger. The desert alive with heat and tension, shadows stretching and shifting. Each grain of sand hiding potential threats, the commander's pulse raced, knowing they were witnessing something extraordinary yet dangerous. With every passing second, a faint movement caught her eye. A distant enemy operative scanning the terrain, unaware of her presence. She exhaled slowly, aligning her scope fingers steady on the trigger. The SEALs crouched silently, waiting for her signal, tension thick as the desert sun beat down each heartbeat, a countdown. Every breath measured and controlled, the desert around them alive with anticipation, ready to test skill, nerve, and timing. The first shot rang out, echoing across the canyon, hitting the target perfectly. The SEALs froze in shock, admiration and disbelief mingling with fear. She did not flinch, her eyes already scanning for the next target, every motion calculated, every movement instinctive, the desert holding its breath, each ripple of heat, each shifting shadow, a test of observation, skill, and nerve as she prepared for the next threat appearing fleetingly behind rocks. Step by step, she advanced, her body low, yet controlled her eyes, scanning the horizon for patterns, movements, anomalies, the SEALs inching forward cautiously, trusting her guidance, each man relying on her instincts and calculations, every step deliberate, every breath measured. The desert, alive with danger, each grain of sand hiding potential catastrophe. The commander signaling subtly for his team to remain steady, knowing one misstep could cost them all. A second target appeared briefly, moving across a distant ridge, she calculated, the wind distance and slope, her finger steady on the trigger. The shot rang true, flawless, deadly precise. The SEALs stiffened, each heartbeat echoing adrenaline through their veins, disbelief, awe, and respect, mixing together, the desert shimmering. Around them, each shadow a reminder of unseen threats. Each ripple in the sand, a hidden danger awaiting the next precise calculation. The third target moved unpredictably behind a boulder, her eyes narrowing, adjusting calculations. Instantly, she fired. Precise, perfect control. The SEALs held their breath, each movement orchestrated by her silent command. The desert alive around them, shadows shifting unpredictably, every rock, every ridge, every patch of sand, a potential hazard, each second stretching. As the tension mounted, the commander marveling at her nerve and skill, knowing survival depended entirely on her decisions. Step by step, she continued scanning and firing each shot, deliberate each calculation, perfect the fourth and fifth targets, appearing briefly behind ridges and dunes, Yet she accounted for every variable wind slope distance timing, every shot finding its mark. The SEALs crouched, silently, amazed every instruction, life-saving every movement, a demonstration of skill nerve and composure, the desert holding its breath, waiting to see if she would maintain the streak. The 6th and 7th targets moved across open terrain, exposing themselves briefly to view. She adjusted instantly, firing flawless rounds, each shot hitting. Precisely, the SEALs flinched as the desert echoed with gunfire, each heartbeat a countdown, every breath measured as they watched her control chaos with calm precision, each shadow alive with hidden dangers.